going to show you today how to build an 8-foot stand. It's a 2x2 platform, 3/4 inch plywood. You could usually find them at Lowe's for about $13 to $15. And then we're going to buy about 5 pressure treated 8-foot pieces of 2x4. And that's going to make up the stand. It's really easy to do. So I'm going to take you along while we build this thing today and get it up in the woods. And I'm going to show you how to build it, what the cuts are, start to finish. You're going to be able to build yourself a bow or rifle stand for the woods that you could move around by yourself that will last you for years, sub $100. Here we go. All right, here we are in my home away from home. I go with pressure treated 2x4s. Pressure treated 2x4s will last me a little longer, even though they're not made the way they used to be. Their 8-footers are going for $468 per, and we're gonna get 5 of them. So let's get them on the dolly. We're gonna have these two. These are gonna be our legs, and you want no bows in them. You want them as straight as possible. That's really important. I try to get as straight as possible on all of my 2x4s. All right, so we picked up 6 2x4x8s pressure treated lumber. It's roughly $30. I'm going to get an extra one, and if I need to, I can return it. But I like to have a little extra. Let's go get the platform top, and then we're just going to grab a few little things. This is where you're going to have your platform, and they have all kinds of 2x4 type. This is 1/2 inch 2x4 plywood maple, really expensive. But down here, $14.68, I can get a 2x2 sand pine for $14, and that's exactly what we want for our seat. All right, so now we're gonna get 2 eye screws or screw eyes. I usually use the 4-inch. They're a little more hardy, $1.58 a piece. I already have 2 at the house, so I'm just gonna grab 2 more. And this is going to give us a way of attaching our ratchet straps from the stand to the tree, wrap them around, keep them secure. One up top in the cross beams and one down below near the bottom of the stand. Now, if you don't have these at home, you could always use cheap things like this. This is just general purpose for pulling your backpack up, pulling your rifle up to the stand. If you don't like climbing with anything, they got them as cheap as $1.58. This sucker's not that bad, and it doesn't hold a ton, but your backpack should not be 150 pounds. So we're just going to grab one of these just to have it around. It's cheap. I'm not worried about it, and I like high visibility. Orange is always a good choice. All right, 1 can of camouflage Rust-Oleum. This stuff is about $7. You only need 1 can, and it just helps cover the legs and the rungs and all that stuff. Okay, this is my added touch. On the back of these seats, I put a handle. They're $4.67 a piece. I'm going to grab 2 just because I have another stand I put up yesterday that doesn't have one. So if you're getting into hunting and you're looking at stands and you're not going to go a climber, you just want a ladder stand for a certain spot, you know that you could drop a lot of money really quick on a subpar stand. You don't need anything fancy. A lot of guys aren't sitting all day. You're sitting for a few hours. You'll be fine with a cushion. And so we're building this stand and not spending, $200 on a 16-foot ladder stand that's only going to last a few seasons. They're going to rot out. They're going to rust. So right now, we're at $73.30. That's where we're at. All right, so we're getting the tools together. You don't need an extensive tool list for this thing. You could use a hammer. You can use a mallet. A lot of times I use a mallet. We're going to use a speed square. We're going to use a measuring tape. Pencil is always good. I've been fortunate enough to get my hands on an impact drill. This is one of the tools that I've wanted. Battery's charging. For a while, this thing is awesome because it's super light, super strong. Going to use this for the majority of the day. And then you get into things like miter saws. A lot of guys sell miter saws. You could get them at the flea market. You could get them on OfferUp, Swip Swap. They're not that expensive, but they're great to have. But you can use any saw you want, even down to a handsaw if you have one. Miter saw is just great, just makes it fast, quick, angled cuts, straight cuts. So we're going to be doing the majority of all of our cuts today will be straight cuts. And we will turn them out pretty quick. Once we get our first rung for our ladder, that's going to be the majority of our cuts. We'll cut them all based off of one, which I'm going to teach you how to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut our two 24-inch pieces. Get your speed square, super cheap. You should have one at the house all the time. Now somebody doesn't have to hold the wood for you, right? We're going to line it up, make our first cut. Now we've got a 24-inch. We're going to make our second one right off of it. Now I am not Bob Vila. If you're from the 80s, you know who I'm talking about. And in we go. Gotta have a good mallet. Now, I'm putting these out a little further because we're gonna do some overkill screws as well. And we're going to drive them into the sides. My wife says it's overkill. She's probably right. Now, you could take a cushion, throw a cushion on that sucker. That works great. Climb up. This is what I was telling you. This handle is a great addition. For just under $5, this sucker is gonna sit right here. So when you climb up, you'll be able to reach to the back and grab a hold and get on real easy. And there you have it. You got your seat. All right, so here's what we got. We got the handle at the top, right? Because this is gonna go up against the back of the tree right here. We're just gonna zip these in place and then we're gonna flip and then we'll start with our rungs. So at this point, I'm going 3-inch screws. This is what we're gonna use. Multi-material, exterior screws. They usually come with a bit inside. It's already in my impact drill, but these are gonna pull in really well. It's pulled in nice and tight. So that's great. Same thing. This is where everything starts to come together. Once we get our rungs on, then we will do our angled, positioned supports. All right, let's throw a few on. See where we're at. Again, we're still working with the 3-inchers. Let's go. We went 10, right? So go 12? Yeah. Okay. Now, a lot of what we do out in the woods here in Florida is wet. It's prone to sinking, right? So I don't mind if I lose, inches to mud. Not that big of a deal. Like I said, we're just trying to get up over the palmettos and some of the scrub brush. I'm just going to bring this wood in. It's bowing a little bit because of the moisture. Bring it in with my feet slightly. It'll hold. So what we're going to do now is we're going to flip this sucker, okay? And simple math, our support beams are going to be 4 feet. So we're going to just... Okay, so in order for us to do our angled pieces, our angled supports, we want to cut 2 inside braces here that sit directly on top of our 2x4 main legs, and then they're going to get zipped into the side. We'll shave just the hair off the end. Last cuts we're going to make is going to be our support bracket, and we're chopping this sucker right in half, 4 feet. Now these supports are going to go like this. We usually
get them just like that, and wherever they fit in between a rung and the lid, we zip them in. Getting low on 3 inches, so I'm glad we're at the end. We'll edit that out. We're gonna put 2 up top, 2 in the bottom, and that's where our eyelet rungs are gonna go. This is flat, right? So when you put it up against the tree, it's gonna have a wobble to begin with. And then we're gonna cinch it down really tight on the top, right down on the bottom. I've had 0 problems. You won't have a problem either. But man, these 8-foot stands, like, they're really easy to work with. They're plenty good for us. I saddle hunt, so I can go up as high as I want. Usually 16 feet, but you know, you get out of work early, you've got some strategic spots. You know, last year at the end of the season, I was pretty beat up. My back was giving me trouble, my lower back. So, you know, to have these strategically in place where you can just grab your pack and go, you know, why not? Attempt to get some paint on it real quick, and then I'll take you along with me as we go out to the woods and put it in place. All right, guys, so these are the 2 trees that we're gonna work on, and we're not sure which direction we're gonna put this, but as you look down, we're gonna pan here. You'll see our feet are out there, and deer love walking through these pines. They feel more secure. So I'm gonna put you right here against the truck. So let's get to work. Kind of see what we can see. Make sure this feeder's throwing. Oh yeah, it's looking good. It's throwing corn, so that's great. Throwing it good. That's great. And you can't really see. So that's great.